welcome to my channel and welcome to part 2 of my eating disorder story. If you haven't watched part 1, feel free to do so, or you can start with this video. I just talked about the beginning of my eating disorder and how it started when I was age 9, and I got through just like 4th grade in that video. So I'm going to start at 5th grade here. And in 5th grade, my eating disorder continued, and one thing that happened in 5th grade that was a really positive thing was that 5th grade is when you can choose an instrument at the school I went to. So my parents said, well, you know, we can't afford to buy a new instrument, but let's use our resources, and you can play any instrument that we have in the house, which is a clarinet, a flute, or a violin. And me being the 3rd child, I was just like, I'm always getting hand-me-downs. I don't want a hand-me-down instrument too. So I said, well, I wanted to play trumpet, which I really didn't want to play trumpet. I just wanted something to be my own. I wanted something that I had that wasn't passed down from that my sisters had already played, that I wanted something that I was the one who was playing it. So anyways, I, said, fine, I'll play violin. And at the time, I did really well with it. My father was an amazing pianist. He played piano, not by profession, but he was really good. So it's something that we were able to bond over was our music. And so I played violin. He would accompany me a lot. And it's just a lot of good memories. I love that class. It was really positive. My parents feel really bad because they couldn't afford to get me a violin that actually fit me properly. So I had a full-size violin. But I didn't know any differently, so I made it work, and it was fine. So going into 6th grade, again, eating disorder was still there, and I didn't really, this was kind of my normal way. And I'm not sure if I mentioned in my other video, but, people ask me, why didn't your parents, do anything? Well, as I explained before, I was a really picky eater and was underweight even from like really young, as an infant and a toddler and a preschooler. And it was something the doctors had kind of watched and tried to work on, and nothing really helped. So I was already, a picky eater. Just the doctors thought I might just be underweight for a long time, maybe not, but it's not like I went from just this normal way of eating as a kid to all of a sudden everything changed and I'm not eating as much and I'm dropping a lot of weight. I went from an underweight picky eater to a more underweight, not eating as much, and it didn't really look different. I was just kind of like who I was. So I wanted to explain that as well. So it was really easy for it to go under the radar and not noticed. So going back, so 6th grade, I remember in 6th grade, my clothes didn't really fit because, again, I was getting older and I wasn't growing a whole lot, but my clothes just kept getting bigger and bigger. So my mom took me to the store. It was really frustrating to try to get me clothes that would fit, that pants that wouldn't fall down. And all my friends were graduating into like the junior section of the clothes, and at that age in 6th grade we were it was nice to be able to wear like a little older looking clothes, not so cutesy little kid clothes. But I felt like I got demoted. Instead of going up to the junior section, I got demoted into the little kid section, and I had to wear clothes as a 6th graders that most 1st graders were wearing. So I didn't have a lot of options, and we didn't have a lot of money to be spending on a lot of clothes. So I remember I have 2 pairs of pants that kind of fit me, but they were way too short, and they were, high waters is what we call them. And I remember being really embarrassed and really self-conscious about having to wear these high waters. And those memories have really stuck with me to the point where even now as a parent, I make sure I keep an eye on my kids' jeans. And when they start to get too short, I am out getting them jeans that are long enough for them. So that was 6th grade. I remember also all my friends were getting bras, and I told my mom I need a bra, and she said, but you don't have anything to even hold a bra. And I said, I don't care, all my friends are getting bras, I want one too. So she took me and we got a training bra, and it, I wore it. I just wanted to feel normal. I wanted to feel like everyone else. And So then going into 7th grade, I went from elementary school to, it was junior high. And, you know, kids are a little different and they are a little meaner in 7th grade, 7th, 8th, 9th grade. It was a junior high that had 7th grade to 9th grade. So I just remember the kids that I didn't even know would come up to me and ask me, like, are you anorexic? Like, you must never eat. Do you even eat? And we're being really self-conscious about it, that, you know, people were talking about my body and talking about whether or not I ate. And I just remember feeling very self-conscious, and I didn't like it. I didn't like people noticing and talking about my body. So I remember that year I just was like, well, I'm going to show everyone, I'm going to eat lunch. And so I remember eating more during lunchtime, just so kind of like see, I'll show you guys, I do eat. I'm not anorexic. I still got the comments, but you know, I felt like better about it. Like, here, everyone, you know, I am eating. And I'm assuming that I probably I was still underweight, but maybe a little bit healthier weight that year, because I did eat more, like try to prove it to everyone. The comments didn't disappear, but I felt better about things. So then going into 8th grade year, I went back to that really small, private, tiny Christian school. And I, you know, hadn't seen all those kids since like 3rd grade, but I still knew them all. And it was very comfortable, and it was just such a safe feeling school. And I loved being back there. The thing that I didn't realize were those comments that would follow me, because even though I knew all these kids, like, they had grown up, and as they grew up, you know, their attitudes and questions and stuff grew up too. And so they were asking me, are you anorexic? And talking about my body. And I remember just not wanting to eat. Like, all of a sudden I felt really self-conscious to eat in front of others. So like, I wouldn't eat lunch at school. I would throw it away. I couldn't. I don't know. I just felt really self-conscious about it. So that started happening. But at the end of 8th grade year, something that was, again, really positive was my music. And I had been begging my parents for private lessons on violin, and they just couldn't afford it. But at the end of, or during 8th grade, they worked it out and found a private teacher for me. And so I started excelling a lot faster, and it was really something that I had that was mine, that I just really enjoyed. And at the end of 8th grade, I'm really lucky. I live in an area that they have one of the best youth orchestras in the country. So I was able to audition for that, and I got in. Actually, before that, I had switched to viola. And so I auditioned on viola. I loved viola. It's just like a larger violin. It's a little mellower sounding. It's a deeper sound. And I started taking private lessons on viola, got into the youth orchestra, and it just really was life-changing. In the fact it really, not just musically, it directed my life musically, because I kind of knew by then I wanted to major in music, become a professional musician, but it, just being in that environment, I really enjoyed, and it was a good match for me. It was very competitive, but even though I was shy, I was really competitive. So with my music, I was always trying to work really hard, and I did. So whether it was academically or my music or trying to be the skinniest friend, whatever it was, I wanted to really excel. So I worked hard. So there was definitely some perfectionism in that was pretty crippling, but at the same time, it you know, led me to a lot of great things as well. So so that was 8th grade, 9th grade year. Also 9th grade year, I started running track, and like long distance track and cross country. And I remember feeling really dizzy when I would do practices after school, because I wasn't eating lunch. So I wanted to do well with this too. So again, the competitor that I was, the kind of the shy competitor, I started eating more at home, so that I still couldn't eat at school. I felt really uncomfortable eating at school, but I would eat more at home so that I could just feel stronger and healthier and get through practices more and be more competitive in my running. I wasn't the fastest runner or anything, but I still enjoyed it, and I still wanted to do the best I could. So, yeah, leading into my sophomore year, I switched to a different school. We had moved, and I switched to a public school that was really, really big. So I left all my friends, but there was a lot of opportunities at the school musically, so I was excited about that. So I continued to be really competitive with my music and work really hard. I went to the school. I didn't have any friends, and I felt like really bad about that. There was really cliquey, and by the end of sophomore year, I did meet some good friends that I'm still friends with now, and I just and feel very fortunate to have met these really sweet people in my life. But those comments followed me there too. I, again, felt like the high school mascot. I was like the high school anorexic. People I didn't even know would come up to me and ask me if I was anorexic, told me I probably never ate, and did I ever eat, and just really just hard questions for me to be asked. And they thought it was funny. I know that they probably didn't really think much of it, but to me it was devastating, and it was I just felt really violated. Like, people are talking about my body. I didn't want that. I just wanted to be a normal kid and be like everyone else. So, yeah, that kind of followed me into that high school. And I think I will wrap this part up and get part 3, kind of the end of high school into college, because my eating disorder definitely morphed by the time I was in college and served some different purposes. So I will talk about that, but thank you for watching, and if you made it this far, please subscribe, like, comment, ask me anything. I would love to be connected with all of you and be able to answer maybe any questions you might have, or see if there's anything you want me to address in the next part of my video, of my story. So yeah, let me know, and I will see you guys later. Bye.